Hey there, A's Day fans. Welcome to the next edition of A's Player Profile and Prediction. Thank you for tuning in one episode a day, all the way up until opening day. And today we are talking all about left-handed pitcher number 38, John Patrick Sears, or as you and I and all the baseball world better know him as JP Sears, number 38. He is the pride of Sumter, South Carolina, and he attended and played, and this is a little fun fact on Sears, he attended and played college baseball at the Citadel. So definitely always want to give a salute to them over there down in South Carolina. Ended up at the conclusion of his collegiate career being drafted in the 11th round of the 2017 draft. He actually by the Seattle Mariners. He actually never actually played for the Mariners. He did end up getting traded to the New York Yankees that November along with Juan Then, in exchange for Nick Rumbelow, a former Yankee prospect. He was added to the 40-man roster and made the opening day roster in 2022 after climbing the minor league farm system of the Yankees from the time he was traded until that moment. And he ended up making his MLB debut on April 13th of that year and ended up earning his first major league win 3 days later on April 16th. During that season, he did pitch to a 3-0 win-loss record to a 2.05 earned run average in only 22 innings and a .86 whip. So certainly earned value, and he really burst on the scene. Doesn't have, like I said, electric stuff, but definitely knows how to pitch, and it certainly didn't go unnoticed by the Yankees and others around the league, because later that year on August 1st, on the last day of the trade deadline, he was shipped off to Oakland along with Luis Medina, Ken Waldichuk, and Cooper Bowman in exchange for Frankie Montas and relief pitcher Lou Trevino. And don't want to be too biased, like looking over it from this perspective, but I would say that the A's did win that trade, as Montes hasn't been able to stay healthy. I don't know if he pitched more than a month for the Yankees during his time there due to injury, unfortunately. And Lou Trevino definitely has also been battling his own injury situations too as well. So I think the A's won that based on getting their eventual ace, and we'll get to that in a little bit, as well as some aspiring arms like Medina and Waldichuk, who already have made their MLB debuts with the A's. They're actually currently on their way back from Tommy John surgeries themselves. Should make an impact at some point in the 2025 season. He did end up starting 9 games at the back end of that 2022 season, completing his first rookie season with the line as follows: a 6-3 win-loss record with a 3.86 earned run average in 70 innings pitched. He struck out 51 batters, so definitely a good foundation to build off of for the following season. In 2023, he answered the bell and led on a team that definitely had a lot of struggles throughout. He led the A's pitchers in games started with 32, innings pitched with 172 and a third, and strikeouts with 161. By season's end, he was established as the rotation's workhorse, surpassing Paul Blackburn, not by any sense of the word in terms of pedigree, but he just really seemed to take the ball every fifth day, showed his durability, and proved to make that trade that they made with the Yankees prove to be fruitful. Heading into the 2024 season, he was named the ace of the staff. He earned it, and he ended up putting in a line of an 11-13 win-loss record with a 4.38 ERA in 32 games started, 180 and 2/3 innings pitched, 137 strikeouts. A little fun fact from this past season: he did take a no-hitter into the 7th inning on April 11th against the Texas Rangers, and ended up going 6 1/3 innings, 5 Ks, and a 1-0 win. So that was a great bounce back after, I believe, his first 2 starts were a little bit up and down or quite pedestrian, but it was good that he was able to come through from that point on and really establish himself to set the tone for the team. And obviously the A's didn't go where they wanted to in 2024 either, but they definitely had a strong finish along with Sears, so definitely a lot of momentum to build into this upcoming 2025 season. And with that, let's get to know JP Sears, the pitcher, a little bit better for those of us that maybe don't know him as well. He's definitely not a household name, but if you're a baseball fan, certainly an A's fan over the last 3 years, you'll have a good idea of who he is. But for those just tuning in, wanting to learn more, that's what this segment is all about. So his MO, he's known to have that heavy fastball. His spin rate is above average as compared to your standard fastball in Major League Baseball, making it more deceptive for hitters to be able to pick up. So that's why it doesn't necessarily have that high velocity octane number. During the 2024 season, he only averaged 91.9 miles per hour in his fastball. Obviously, compared to the percentage of the world population, that is the elite of the elite. However, we are just looking at it from the scope of Major League Baseball, with how in today's modern game, there's a lot of guys throwing 95 plus. Everyone out of the bullpen seems to be throwing 100 plus. It's just a little refreshing to have a little bit, not a blast to the past, because you'll always have those guys that throw low 90s, but it certainly was a time where you had a lot more guys throwing upper 8s, lower 9s, mid 9s. Someone that's just a pitcher, right? And that's who Sears is. He relies on his pitching to contact location with the deception. He's not necessarily going to always go hunt you with that overwhelming fastball. Now that spin might get up on you and blow it by you if he's working off of his other 4 pitches in his 5-pitch mix. And with that, let's discuss what his mix was and the percentages of when he threw during the 2024 season. So this is all according to Baseball Savant. If you want to take a look at that website, there's a lot of interesting stats. You can get lost on there for hours upon hours upon hours. But his 5-pitch mix, meaning Sears, it's his fastball, like I mentioned, is his MO. He threw it 36.3% of the time, was his most utilized pitch. Behind that he also throws a sweeper, which he threw 24.1% of the time, a changeup that he throws 19.2% of the time, a sinker at 10.6%, and a slider at 9.8%. So yeah, like I mentioned, he really does mix it up. Really needs to rely more on location and deception as compared to just flat out stuff. He always does seem to show his durability. There aren't any major injury concerns that I've heard about. He is someone that, he'll take the ball every fifth day and give the team the best chance to win, or a very good opportunity to win. And, the last 2 seasons, he's made 32 starts each, and, you can always count on him to be there. His slider is a big swing and miss pitch for Sears. He's going to thrive as this team's 3, right? So like I mentioned, he was the ace last year. Due to the new additions of Luis Severino and Jeffrey Springs, he is going to be sliding to that 3 spot in the rotation, and I think he's going to be as good as any across the league. So I just think he's going to deepen the depth of this A's pitching rotation, and having that 3 of Severino, Springs, and Sears, the killer S's, I think that's going to be something that really pays off for this team in 2025 and beyond, as well, as long as his 1 and 2 in the rotation, and meaning Severino and Springs, stay relatively healthy in 2025, because you can count on that, from Sears, and you're going to get a quality start more times than not. So looking forward to seeing what his adjustment to the 3 spot in the rotation is going to look like, and how it's really going to benefit this team. Because if you look at his projections and his scouting report leading up to the last couple of years, he was never expected to be an ace. Now the reason why he was in that role is because he is a gamer. He gives the team a great chance to win, and he leads by example. And he knows how to pitch. So those are all good qualities and components that you want in a pitcher. He's always been projected as someone that's been like a mid-rotation guy, and now he is in that role. I thought he did pretty well as the ace last year, so I think it's just going to keep getting better, especially instead of having to have higher levels of stress going up against an opponent's ace. Now you're going to be going up against an opponent's 3 or 4, depending on how it all shakes up, because I know rotations get shaken up a little bit depending on guys needing rest days, off days, all that good stuff. But typically, he's going to be going up against other teams' 3s, and I think the A's are going to be a pretty prominent spot more times than not, especially with that ace experience. So definitely excited to see what 2025 is going to bring for JP Sears, and with that we are going to discuss his projections for the 2025 season. So with that, for the 2025 season, like I mentioned, he is going to be sliding into that 3 spot, and I think he's going to benefit. So let's see. Fangraphs, what do they have projected? So it looks like they have him making 31 starts. So again, showing that durability, just like he did, that workhorse mentality that he's continued to show over the last couple of years. And they project him to have kind of, I would say, a similar year as compared to last year, but maybe a little uptick in ERA. I'm not sure how they necessarily get down to these calculations, but it is as follows. So they project JP Sears to have a 10-12 win-loss record. In 176 innings pitched, they expect him to strike out 151 batters, it looks like. And they have that ERA at 4.55. So I'm doing this with a couple of the pitchers so far, and I did with Luis Severino, actually. And then we did innings pitched with Springs. So with Sears, I want to stick with that earned run average too as well. I do believe that is a little bit high, in my opinion. I do think, especially not taking into account that he's going to be going up against those threes, they're just kind of tracking it based off his past year's performance and, being in a more hitter-friendly park. I guess they're seeing the numbers inflate a little bit. I don't think it's going to affect Sears that much, unless he gets into situations when he's relying on that slider a little bit too much, where it does seem like there's extreme fly ball percentage rates there. So if he could stay away from that, stay in the ballpark, I think he's going to have another successful season. So the over-under, the ERA 4.55, I'm taking the under, and I'm taking the well under. I think his ERA for 2025, my prediction, I'm going to go 3.78. So it's going to be another guy that's sub-4, and having that in your 3 spot is going to be crucial to keeping this team in the hunt to supplement what expects to boast a pretty good offensive lineup. So good offensive lineup, good pitching depth, lot to like for the A's in 2025. So with that, we want to wrap up today and just give you an idea of where you can find all of our content, as well as be able to follow on with any updates about athletics baseball. So on our social media sites, you can visit us on our Instagram page at A's Day Baseball Podcast. On X, formerly known as Twitter, it's at A's Day Baseball. And on our YouTube channel, it's at A's Day Podcast. And for all those that want to make it official and be an official subscriber for just $2 a month, join us on our Patreon site, patreon.com/A's Day. You'll be entered to win monthly A's Day t-shirt giveaways, A's autograph memorabilia, future A's ticket giveaways, and so much more as we grow this platform together. And that wraps and concludes another A's player profile and prediction. Today we talked all about left-handed pitcher JP Sears, who we actually were fortunate enough to be able to meet during our time down in Mesa at Hohokam Stadium. Signed a couple of cards for us, was very nice. Signing for all the fans there. Definitely a nice little component to being able to attend spring training and get up and close and personal with your favorite players. So thank you for the time, JP Sears. Appreciate you stopping for us and for all the fans too as well. All right, that's a show. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back tomorrow for the next A's player profile and prediction. Holy Toledo, baseball's right around the corner.